Good day, folks. Welcome back to another time video. Today we're going to tie up the blended bloodworm, and I put a couple photos on Instagram last week, and we've had a few requests to tie this pattern, so I thought I'd put a video together. And I've got a size 14 curved nymph hook in the vise, and I tie this from a 12 down to an 18. In this particular one, I'm going to use fluorescent chartreuse thread, but feel free to use my other two go-tos are olive and light olive. And then so you'll also need some red thread, but only change the kind of underbody color. Try to always keep the red the same. So I've got that tied in there, and with just a few wraps, and I'm going to take some golden olive UTC wire in small and just get that tied in all along the near side of the shank here, right down into the bend. And for some of the patterns I'll use this golden olive color, and for some I will use the red. So obviously this one will give it more of a olive greenish look, and the red is going to give it more of a red look. So depending on what you're going for, you can play with those. Once I get up top, just give a couple turns of a whip finish, and we can get rid of the chartreuse thread. Now I'll come in with my red UTC and just kind of work it up and down on the hook shank there. That's going to help you to flatten it out. And then what we want to do is keep it nice and flossy if we can. And you'll see what happens is you get that kind of really flossed out look, and we'll be able to use some UV resin to kind of blend that together. So that's what we're shooting for. Kind of just semi-covered the green, but you still have some coming through. So now I'll just take my wire and just evenly segment this body. Nice even wraps all the way up. Tie it off. So if you do feel free to put a bead on this pattern. And I like black, the undersized bead. On this hook I'll use a 5/64, and anything smaller a 1/16. And if you want, you can Sharpie your red marker right here too, if you want to, just a black Sharpie if you want a black head on it. But I like the red, so we'll just whip finish that off. And come in with some UV resin. This is kind of what blends the two colors together. Just highlights that look that we're going for. Get this nice thin coating on here. This is the Deer Creek resin in fine, so it's nice and thin. And you don't want to add too much bulk with a thicker resin, so looks pretty good there, I think. Come in with a UV light, give it a zap. You can see the fluorescent chartreuse really pops, but you've got that blended red in there as well. And so the olive and light olive are a little more subtle, not as bright under the UV, but I like to have them all in the box just in case. So, but that's all there is to the blended bloodworm. I hope you enjoyed that. I know this thing will fish well for you, and once you figure out how to keep that thread nice and flossy, the red stuff, it's a pretty simple tie, so not much to it. That's all there is. Thanks very much for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't. And until the next one, cheers and tight lines.